My name is Harry. I am 30 years old. I have lived many years, but my heart still carries one memory, one person who shaped my life in a quiet, powerful way. Her name was Miss Linda. She was not famous, she did not seek attention, but she believed in me more than anyone ever did. When I first met Miss Linda, I was 22. I was unsure of my place in the world. I had dreams, small and fragile, about studying abroad and building a life I could be proud of. But dreams are fragile things, and mine were slipping like water through my fingers. Miss Linda saw something in me. She saw potential where I saw doubt. She smiled in a way that made you feel you could do anything. She did not have much herself. Her apartment was small, her things simple. She never complained. She worked long hours at a local shop, saving each coin she could. And slowly, quietly, she began to help me. She encouraged me to apply for programs abroad. She made calls, wrote letters, and even found ways to raise money for my tuition. I remember sitting at her tiny kitchen table, watching her cut coupons from newspapers, and feeling ashamed that she gave so much for me. I told her she should spend money on herself. She laughed softly and shook her head. "Harry," she said, "your dream is my joy. You do not need to worry about me." I wanted to argue, but I could not. She was right. Her joy was in seeing me grow. I left for another country when I was 24. I remember the morning of my departure. Miss Linda walked with me to the train station. She held my hand longer than usual, and I felt a warmth I could not describe. I wanted to tell her I loved her then, but the words would not come. I promised I would return, that I would make her proud, and I believed I would. Abroad, life was different. Everything was bigger, faster, brighter. I studied hard. I worked hard. Every achievement, every small success, I imagined her smile. I wrote letters, but I could never send all of them. I feared they would not capture my gratitude, my love, my longing. The city I lived in was busy, cold, and full of strangers, but in my heart there was always a quiet corner reserved for her. Years passed. I graduated. I started my career. I traveled, met people, and built a life that many would envy. And yet, I never forgot her. I saved money, prepared gifts, imagined returning with triumphs in my hands, to see her proud eyes again. Every plan, every choice, every sleepless night was for her. I kept thinking about the day I would finally go home. I imagined telling her about my life, taking her to places I had only dreamed of before. I imagined holding her hand again, and finally speaking the words I had kept locked in my heart for so long. But life has a way of moving faster than we do. One morning, as I booked my flight home, I received the news. Miss Linda was gone. She had passed away suddenly, quietly, without warning. My chest ached in a way I had never felt before. All the plans, all the dreams seemed to vanish. I could not go back in time. I could not change the past. I could only hold my sorrow. I returned home. The city felt smaller, emptier, different. Everything reminded me of her. The streets we walked, the little cafe near the river, the park where she liked to sit. I carried a single lotus flower with me. I did not know why a lotus came to mind, but I knew it was right. It was pure, quiet, enduring. It was her. I went to the place she loved most, the riverbank where she often sat, watching the water, dreaming quietly. I sat down beside the stone she favored. I held the lotus in my hand and stared at the reflection of the sun on the water. I thought of all she had done for me, the sacrifices she had made, the love she had given without asking for anything in return. I whispered her name, though the wind carried no reply. I did not cry at first. I only remembered. I remembered her gentle voice, her laughter, the way her eyes sparkled when she believed in me. I remembered her hands, worn but kind, always reaching out to help. I remembered the quiet courage she had, living a simple life but giving me the world through her heart. The lotus sat between us, a small symbol of everything she had been. I held it close, as if it could carry my thanks and my love to her somehow. And in that silence, I felt the weight of loss, and also the warmth of gratitude. No riches, no achievements, no distant lands could ever replace what she had given me. I stayed there for hours, just sitting. I let the memories come, one by one. I let the grief settle around me, heavy and real. And slowly, I understood something I had not before. Life would go on. I would continue to build, to travel, to live, but I would carry her with me, always. She had shaped me, not with money, not with grand gestures, but with simple, quiet love. That love had become a part of who I am. I placed the lotus on the water. I watched it float slowly, alone but beautiful. I thought of her smiling, proud of me, happy even in her absence. And I realized that love, pure and selfless, never truly leaves us. It stays, like the lotus, calm and steady, carrying the memory of those who believed in us when no one else did. The days after I visited the riverbank were quiet. The city moved around me, full of people and noise, but I felt as if I were walking in a bubble of memory. Every corner reminded me of her. I would pass a shop she liked, and I would stop, staring at the shelves she once touched. I would see a small flower in a window and think of her hands arranging things with care. I went back to my apartment, but it felt empty. I unpacked my suitcase slowly, touching each item as if it could bring her closer. I found a small notebook I had kept from the years abroad. It was filled with letters I never sent, with stories of my life, of success, of loneliness, all addressed to her. I read them silently, tracing her name with my finger. I realized then how much I had needed her presence, even in letters, even in dreams. One evening, I returned to the riverbank. The lotus I had left on the water had floated away. I imagined it finding its way to her, carrying my love. I sat on the stone again, holding another lotus. I let the sun warm my shoulders and watched the water move slowly. My chest ached, heavy with longing, but there was also a calmness. I remembered every sacrifice she made. She had worked hard, lived simply, and yet her heart was generous. She had given me a chance at life beyond what I thought possible. She had given me courage, hope, and love, and I had not told her enough how much she meant to me. That thought stung sharply, but it was real, and I allowed myself to feel it fully. I began to speak softly to her, as if she were sitting beside me, I thanked her for believing in me. I told her I was sorry for not saying more when I had the chance. I spoke of my life abroad, my work, the people I had met, all of it a continuation of the path she had helped me find. Though she could not answer, I felt a presence, a warmth, as if she were listening. Days became weeks. I made the ritual of the lotus a quiet part of my life. Every time I felt lost or alone, I would place a lotus on the water. I would remember her laughter, her guidance, her quiet strength. It became a way to speak to her, to honor her memory, to remind myself of who I had become because of her. One afternoon, I sat longer than usual. The sunlight touched the water and made it sparkle. I closed my eyes and remembered the first time I left for another country. I felt the same nervousness, the same hope, the same longing to make her proud. But now I also felt gratitude, deep, steady gratitude. I understood that her love had built the foundation of my life, and that no matter what I achieved, it would never outweigh what she gave me. I realized that love is not about possession or being together. Love is quiet. Love is giving, trusting, and letting others grow. Love stays, even when the person is gone. It stays like a lotus on still water, pure, calm, and enduring. I looked at the lotus I held, and I smiled softly, a tear slipping down my cheek. I knew that I would continue to live, to travel, to build, to work, and to dream. But I would carry her memory in every choice, every small act of kindness, every moment of quiet reflection. She was part of me now, in ways that no distance or time could erase. I whispered her name one last time that evening, feeling a peace I had not felt since her passing. I stood, leaving the lotus floating gently on the water, and walked home slowly. I understood that life would go on, and that I could honor her by living fully, loving fully, and remembering fully. And as I walked through the city streets, I realized something simple and true. The love she gave me was like the lotus. It grows in quiet places. It rises above difficulty. It remains beautiful, even in the calmest or the hardest moments. It is enduring. It is pure. It is hers. And now it is mine too.